Hi, my name is Denise Tutman. I live in Terrace BC and this is my garden. As you can see, it's a pretty big garden. But we'll start down here where the garlic is. There are 2,000 garlic plants this year. I've been growing garlic for about 8 years and I have 26 different varieties. You can see I leave a scape on each one of the varieties and it helps me know when the garlic is almost ready to harvest. And you can probably tell that quite a bit of this is getting very close to harvest time. One little hint for in terrace, we have cold and sometimes really wet winters, so I mulch really heavily with leaves that I steal from around friends' yards, and I leave them there for the summer. It helps keep the weeds down, and then of course in the winter time it also keeps the garlic from getting too cold and too wet. I also tarp my garlic over the winter, and I remove the tarp usually mid-March around spring break. Now, walking down here, I have different crops interspersed around. I've already harvested a few things, so I've replaced those things with some lettuce and some radishes. And I also have extra tomatoes that I put outside because my greenhouse was too full. I have carrots here and beets and calendula kind of interspersed that reseed themselves each year. I've harvested a lot of greens this year already, so I've replanted, and so I've got some baby greens growing. I always spread my cabbage family crops, the cauliflower, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, kale, around the garden, not all in one place. I find it confuses the cabbage butterflies a little bit more that way. I've got leeks here. And this is about my 3rd year growing leeks, and they're doing really well. I'm looking forward to eating them. And beans in this area here, there's about 4 different varieties. Some are for drying and some for eating green. And then I've got 2 rows of onions, and a white and a yellow, and then 3 rows of peas. One little garden hint that I have is, in terrace we have a shorter growing season, so I love peas, so I always start some peas inside my greenhouse in pots, and then I transplant them outside, and then that way we get about a 3-week jump start on the pea season. So right here in this area we've been eating peas for about 3 weeks. The rest of the peas are just coming. I also stagger plant my peas so that they're not all ready at the same time. So I stagger plant them over about a month-long period, and so they aren't ready all at one time. And then here, 6 varieties of potatoes, and I've already been harvesting new potatoes here. And then down the garden you'll see there are sunflowers all the way down that were all planted by my kindergarten students and another kindergarten class at the school I teach at. And they were able to come here 8 times this year, and they were able to plant their sunflowers right into the garden. They also helped plant potatoes and peas, and they did a lot of weeding and other gardening activities. We're going to whip into the greenhouse where I have tomatoes and peppers, but I'm just going to show you my grapes. I have 4 different varieties in here. They kind of take over the greenhouse, and I have to hack them back every year, but they are prolific and I make juice out of those. Then coming back outside, I have a couple of raised beds of strawberries, the little garden that the kindergartens planted, and then the potatoes and sunflowers that they planted. And when they come back in the fall, they'll help harvest potatoes. The kindergartens also helped plant these beans, runner beans, and the tomato plants, extra tomatoes, and they also helped to plant the squash plants. We started them at school under lights, and we brought them here, transplanted them, and we've been harvesting lots of zucchini in here. You can see there's a nice zucchini there, and if you look over here, there's a nice round Ronde Denise zucchini in there. Looking forward to trying that one. I've never grown that before. And over here I have a row of currants, black, red, and gooseberries, and then 3 rows of raspberries. Been eating raspberries for about a week now, and they are prolific. And then here I have my asparagus bed, which I let the greens grow. I've been growing this for about 5 years, and I've eaten some of it, but I also like to leave some to grow so that it keeps the roots strong. And then I also have my Egyptian walking onions, which are a real hoot, and my different herbs, oregano and some mint and some bee balm and parsley and lavender. And that's my garden, or at least part of my garden. Thank you for watching my video.